Hey, hi, hello, listeners. This is another episode of Never Seen It. I'm your host today, Betsy, and with me as always is Trent.
Hey, Betsy.
I have to say, listeners, I'm very excited about today's episode, and I'm going to tell you a very brief story as to why. Trent and I have been together for around 12 years at this point.
Yep, it'll be 12 years next month.
And there are certain movies on my movie bucket list that I have been trying to get him to watch ever since we started dating. I also was referencing a list I made when we started talking about doing a podcast. What are the movies we would like to cover?
Yeah.
There was one movie I wrote down very first at the top of my list, and it is this movie. The day has finally come. Celebrating its 35th anniversary this month, we are watching A Fish Called Wanda.
Over 240 episodes, we finally made it.
It only took me 12 years and 240 episodes to finally corner you into watching this film. So, Trent, I have obviously seen this. You have not.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about A Fish Called Wanda?
It's clearly a Kevin Kline movie because you have this... I don't know what I want to call it. It's not an obsession. It is a fascination with the man Kevin Kline.
I love Kevin Kline.
Yeah. And until I met you, I had never seen a Kevin Kline movie.
That is really a shame. Now, you know the significance of this movie in particular as it pertains to Kevin Kline.
He won an Oscar for it.
This is his movie that he won an Oscar for.
Yeah. Not the other movie that we watched early on in the podcast, In and Out.
No, and he has been nominated a few times sprinkled throughout, but this is the one he won for, and I am always perpetually fascinated by anybody who gets nominated number one, but specifically who wins
For a comedy.
Yeah. And when you see this movie, I hope you will understand how this came to pass.
Okay.
So obviously you know Kevin Kline. Who else is in this movie?
Again, I'm only going to go off of the poster as I normally do because this is pretty much the only reference point I have because it's been in our collection forever, of course.
Yes, it has.
And I go in and I look at descriptions. I edit things sometimes just in our digital library that we have personally. It's Jamie Lee Curtis as one of the other people, and John Cleese.
Yes.
Those are the ones that I know for sure.
This is actually a movie that is written by John Cleese.
All right.
So I feel it is important to know that piece of information because if you know anything about him, this is the late 80s. So this is kind of the biggest thing he did post Monty Python.
Okay.
So the show was done. They had done some movies, but not recently.
Right.
And he had done some other TV shows and things. This was a pretty big movie moment for him.
Yeah, it was probably something that he was kind of working on in the background while all of this other stuff was going on, and he was a big star, at least in certain pockets anyway.
Yep.
But he was a big name.
And there is one other member of Monty Python in this movie. He's the fourth guy, who I wouldn't expect you to know because I don't think you ever watched that much Monty Python.
No, and my history with Monty Python, it wasn't until like 2005 that I watched any Monty Python, and I was hanging out with some friends, and they just turned on, I think we watched Life of Brian, and then they turned on Holy Grail after that. And I think I prefer Life of Brian, to be honest.
Honestly, if I'm being real with you, I think I also prefer Life of Brian.
Yeah, and I've only seen those movies once all the way through, so I'm not a Monty Python guy.
I was literally thinking of a quote from Monty Python the other day, specifically from Life of Brian, and it was such a throwaway, stupid thing, but somebody said something about like a people's front, and I went, the Judean people's front? We're the people's front of Judea! And I'm just alone in my car quoting Monty Python because that's who I am as a person.
Yeah, and the people that you work with are not, let's just say they're not Monty Python fans.
They're probably not going to get that reference, no. But yeah, Michael Palin is the actor, and I don't think there's going to be anybody else you recognize because knowing those two details, you can probably guess this is British. This is a British movie.
I was just going to ask you, how British is it?
Well, why don't we go and find out? Because I'd be willing to bet you have no idea what the plot of this movie is.
I know nothing.
So we're going to go and watch A Fish Called Wanda, and we'll be right back. And we're back. After over a decade, I finally got my way. Trent, what did you think of A Fish Called Wanda?
Boy, they don't make movies like that anymore.
No, they really don't.
That was really silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it made you laugh. You were laughing a lot.
Yeah, sure it was. And I think the overarching, theme of this entire movie is, or the thing that was going through my head is, man, the lengths that people will go to get laid.
Yes.
You know, that and the desperation of some people to, when they're in a desperate situation, they will do desperate things.
Right, and this plot is fairly simple, but it becomes the comedy of errors. So
Yes.
they rob a jewelry store. They steal millions of dollars worth of diamonds. And the plan is the four of them rob the diamonds. They hide the diamonds. They will reconvene in a few days. But because every man is for themselves, or in
Yep.
this case, every woman,
Yep.
they immediately turn around and turn one of the guys in, the brains of the operation.
Right. They're trying to reduce the number of people involved here so that one or two of them maybe get away with the diamonds, and then maybe down the line it's only going to be one of them.
Well, right, because why split it 4 ways when you could just keep it all for yourself?
Exactly. If you have the means to maybe not off, but dispose of
Eliminate from the
your
equation.
co-conspirators, you might want to do that and get away. So, yeah.
Yes, and we have 4 people at play here. We have the brains, the babe, the muscle, and the animal lover. And
Yeah.
they all have their own little adventures, except for George, the brains, because
Yeah.
he's locked up behind bars.
Right.
But it's, like I said, pretty simple. He moves the loot to a safety deposit box without anybody knowing.
Right.
He enlists Ken because he trusts Ken the most, and he hides the key. But they find out pretty quickly where the key is. So Wanda's got the key.
Yeah.
Wanda's trying to figure out where the loot is. And it's all just, okay, we have to eliminate the witnesses
Right.
and get the loot.
Yeah, and it's all of these different pieces that are just revealed piece by piece by piece by piece as we're going along, and it's a comedy of errors, like you said, and everybody's just trying to screw everybody else over, and then we have the 5th member of this little family, which is the John Cleese character.
Who is in effect the straight man, but even
Yeah.
he gets really goofy.
He does, and I think it really shows that this is his movie because I could just feel his presence throughout all of these different characters.
It's the not uptight British man, but the smart British guy. Like, it's that weird humor of, I am observing the place that I live and the people I live with, and I'm going to make fun of Americans making fun of the Brits.
Right. Which I think is probably one of their favorite things to do, is number one, be a self-deprecating people, because they are. They know what their foibles are.
But they also know that Americans are stupid, and what better representation of
Yeah.
this than an absolutely extreme example. So
Right.
I'm just gonna dive right into it.
Okay.
Kevin Kline.
Wow.
Kevin Kline is the Vulgarian American.
Yep.
How did you enjoy that performance?
Like you said, I can see why he got number 1 nominated, and I have no idea who else was up at this year, obviously, but yeah, wow.
So I was reading about this. He actually has only been nominated this one time. He has never been nominated outside of this for an Academy Award. He also didn't win a goddamn thing that awards season leading up to this, which is basically unheard of in
Right.
the Oscars race. You
Right.
usually pick up a little here, a little there, and then you pick up momentum and you get the big prizes right up until the awards. And then on the big night, we see what happens.
Sure.
Traditionally, that's what happens. He came out of fucking nowhere for this role, and he is so bonkers, insane, and committed to this ridiculous, stupid man.
Yeah.
And I was thinking back, I saw this movie for the first time when I was in high school. So it was the Saturday night movie on NBC or something. You know, back in the days, if you didn't have cable, you just were beholden to whatever the television station decided to air for you.
The only movies you had access to if you didn't have cable were the ones you could still rent, because even in the 80s, you still were able to rent VHS tapes. Or what was playing at the local theater, and normally local theaters, if they're small enough, they're not going to show old movies.
No, so this was just...
Certainly not a movie like this.
No, this is just one of those late 90s, early 2000s things that I watched around that time. And I knew Monty Python, and I had seen a couple of Kevin Kline movies. But before and since, I have never seen Kevin Kline like this. He is saying he used to kill for the CIA.
Right.
He reads Nietzsche, but he doesn't understand anything. He spaces out in the middle of listening to people and has to have them repeat it. He is an over-the-top buffoon who screams asshole at everybody when it's his fault. And it just kills me. This role is so fucking funny.
I don't even know how to describe him as a character, because he is a character in and of himself. Down to his look, down to the way he talks, down to all of his mannerisms. And I think the one thing I maybe knew from this movie, but I did not know it came from this movie, is when they discover at the safe that it's empty. He shoots at it and he goes, disappointed.
You know why?
Why?
I occasionally yell disappointed.
I don't know if it's you though.
Okay, disappointed. It's interesting that would be the scene that you know, because
I don't even think it's a scene. It's just somebody saying disappointed in that cadence.
But the thing that you would probably know him for is eating the entire tank full of fish.
No.
Did you know that was in this movie?
No. I didn't even know there was going to be a fish.
There's literally a fish called Wanda.
Of course.
That's the name of this movie. So he actually offered to eat the fish. Kevin Kline said, I'll eat the fish. He was so in character.
Oh, yeah.
He had no qualms about just chowing down on some live fish.
Sure.
But for numerous reasons, they said no. And so the fish are made of Jell-O.
Of course.
But back when I first saw this, I didn't have the internet yet, or I had very limited internet. And you only hear the rumor mills, and I had heard he ate real fish, and I believed that for a really long time.
I believe that because, especially in 1988, there were fewer restrictions on what actors could do and not do on set, and that would be probably one that they would let slide, maybe.
Yeah, like, you can eat 2 fish.
There's a limit.
We will allow you some, but you can't eat that many fish. First of all, you'll be terribly ill.
Also, what if we have to do different takes?
Right. So that was the thing I had known about this movie before I saw it, was the thing with the fish.
Okay.
Because I think that scene was in the Seen It DVD movie trivia game.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And it's one of those clips where if you play the game a lot, you get served the same clips over and over again.
Of course.
And I had no idea what this movie was. And when I saw it in context, I was like, oh my fucking God, this guy. So I just have nothing but amazing positive things to say about him in this movie, because it's just, he's at a 12.
Yeah.
The whole time. And there's not one moment I don't believe that he believes his own chaos.
It's a cliche, but he is just eating the entire scenery. He is everywhere. And even if it's not even his scene, his character is showing up, like looking through the windows, staring at you as you're about to have sex.
The way he just appears throughout this movie is
it's
so
like
well
half a dozen
filmed.
times too.
Yeah, when Jamie Lee Curtis is making out with John Cleese, and he just appears at an angle and says, "Don't call me stupid." It's fucking insane.
When they're making out on the couch and he shows up in the room, he's just motioning to his crotch, saying, "Don't touch his dick.
Yeah.
Don't touch his dick.
If you touch his dick, he dies." Or just when he's like confronting John Cleese and he, being the Brit, says, "You are a true vulgarian," and his retort is, "You're the vulgarian, you fuck."
Yep.
Moments like that, he is just this brutish.
He is completely unself-aware, if that's even a term.
I don't know what you would oblivious. He is oblivious.
Sure, he doesn't know how ridiculous he is being, especially down to the fact that the one thing that you cannot do to him is call him stupid.
But he is a moron.
He is stupid. That's the thing.
And there's just every time he is in a scene, especially by himself, like when Wanda sends him to apologize and he's like,
Fuck you!
He literally can't say the word sorry.
Right.
Until he knocks Archie Leach unconscious, and then he realizes his mistake and he's like, I'm sorry. But when he's upset because of the confusion, he kicks him in the gut.
And then he says he's sorry again.
I'm sorry. And then later, when he's really sincerely trying to apologize, he does it at gunpoint.
Pulls a gun on his face.
So you get through this whole movie with this lunatic who throws knives and plays with swords and speaks absolute nonsense Italian. Like, literally,
He speaks about as much Italian as we do.
it's the broken Italian where he's just like, chicken Milanese.
Mozzarella.
And it's so ridiculous.
Apologies to our Italian listeners.
But he actually is saying a couple of real sentences in this movie.
I'm sure
and
he
it's
is.
so stupid. It's like, I married the wrong woman and she just wants to be in the garden. It's absolute nonsense that he is saying. And it just turns her on completely.
Well, not as much as the Russian stuff did to her.
Yeah, so let's talk about Wanda. So
Yeah.
Jamie, listen, Kevin Kline is not the only one doing the fucking work in this movie.
Yeah, she has to keep up with this crazy man, and I think she nails it.
And she's doing it in a different way because she is the liar and the fraud.
Yeah.
But she also is the body. She knows exactly what she has and how to use it. And she does. She kisses literally every man who is in this movie. All the lead males.
Yeah, all the leads.
At different parts, she is making out with them.
Yes.
To meet her own ends.
Of course, because when they realize that the safe is empty, she's about to knock Kevin Kline on the head and fuck off with the diamonds herself. But because of that, she has to keep on going along with all these fucking morons.
Right. They were ready to just end this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning. And she is clearly the one who is in control of this situation because she brought in Otto. She somehow or another already knew George.
Right.
And then she uses Ken in whatever way she needs to.
Right, and she's the most conniving one out of
absolutely.
everybody by far.
Absolutely. The difference is she's good at it. And she knows she's good at it.
Yeah, and it's all the men who are fucking things up.
Yeah, because they all want to fuck her, or they are fucking her.
Right.
Because she's got no qualms about doing that if it gets her what she wants.
With everybody.
With literally everybody in this movie. She's not just doing it to fuck them. It's all about power. She is completely in control. And she's like, if I need to fuck him, I'll fuck him. If I need to let him nuzzle, I think 80%. You're gonna get some nuzzling, okay? But if you touch his dick, he dies. But yeah, she shows up and she's the one that says, make the call, get George in prison.
Right.
He's gone. The second that they think they're gonna get the diamonds, she is ready to get rid of Otto and hightail it to South America.
Right.
She only sticks around because she has to, because she doesn't know now where the diamonds are.
She needs to continue to use all of these men and also recruit Archie into this entire thing without letting on that she's a part of all of it.
Yes, she uses her womanly wiles to get at George's lawyer because, again, she's the smart one. She knows if George tells anybody where those diamonds are, it's going to be his lawyer.
Right.
So she tries to get in with him. So that's, again, just her whole thing, and she's out there seducing everybody. So since we're on the topic, John Cleese's character, his name is Archie Leach. Do you know where that name comes from?
No.
Archie Leach, or Archibald Leach, is Cary Grant's birth name.
Okay.
And apparently, he grew up not that far from where John Cleese grew up. So he just took that name and used it for his character in this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, just a little fun fact for you. But yes, we have John Cleese as I said, kind of the straight man. He's the barrister. He is enlisted against his will, I guess. Wanda shows up in his office and just starts throwing herself at him.
Right. And this is where I know that, okay, this movie is just silly.
This is where it stops being a little believable.
All of this from here on out is just completely unbelievable unless it is a comedy. Because if this is meant to be portrayed as a drama, I wouldn't believe a goddamn thing that any of these characters are going through. But because it is a comedy, because I know it is John Cleese, because it is all of these things put together, I'm just letting it go. Yes, of course, John Cleese's character is going to say yes to everything that she says because he's in a loveless and sexless marriage and he wants to dip his wick. So there you go.
And you can tell, like you said, that this is a man who comes from writing sketch comedy, because the scene where he is in his house making out with her and Otto shows up and then his wife comes back.
Right.
It's like doors opening. There's people hiding behind it and they're almost about to be found out. And then when they close the door, he screams because he thinks she's there, but she's not there. She's dropped to the floor and now she's behind the couch, but she's still inside. Yeah, it's the kind of thing.
Yeah, it's physical comedy without the slapstick nature of it.
Yeah, in any other context, if this was like a Monty Python thing, there would be people like flying through the air or rolling on the ground.
Or like jumping through windows.
And listen, there is some of that in this movie.
Okay, no, yeah.
Mostly from Kevin Kline and mostly from Michael Palin. But in that scene alone, it's so many like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, just watching how are they going to get out of this situation.
Yeah.
To comedic effect. And he plays it off great, where he is standing there trying to explain to his wife what's going on. And Otto, a man he has never seen before, has no idea how or why he's in his house, just starts speaking to his wife. And he has the most crazed, like, I don't know what to do, I am frozen expression on his face.
Right.
While Otto is mumbling incoherently about being a part of the CIA and
it is
KGB agents.
It is stream of consciousness. It is fucking Mad Libs. It's everything put together just coming out of his mouth.
And you don't have to listen to a word Kevin Kline is saying if you don't want to. You can just look at John Cleese and it's fucking hilarious. There are few people, especially in comedy, that have the ability to just stand there and be funny. And that is a scene where he is pulling that off.
Because, I mean, in this case, you're not actually going to be looking at John Cleese. You would because you've seen the movie 50 times.
Not quite that many, but close. Close enough.
And yeah, I'm just listening to this entire speech, and I have actually seen this particular scene before, but it's because other people have shared this scene in reference to Kevin Kline, like on his birthday or an anniversary of like him winning his award or something like that.
Oh, rambling.
They're sharing this scene of him in this room, talking about the fact that he's in the CIA and he's having to go house to house looking for this KGB agent
and other agents that might be in the area.
Other agents that might just be in the area, and we're telling the public, but then all of a sudden, the wife is also piping up because she seems to know a lot more than he does about the CIA and Secret Service and other stuff.
Or at least intelligence. Her dad was in the intelligence agency.
Like, you wouldn't just be going around and telling people that there are KGB agents around here.
I love that moment where he says, "Don't call me stupid," and she says, "Why heaven on earth not?" It's such a condescending way of just shutting him up.
Yeah.
And then, he's stomping out of the house screaming Deutschland über alles. Like, it's
Right. If it wasn't for us, you'd all be speaking German and all of these other like stupid American things that we would say to British when we have no real argument.
Or every time, as I said, he turns the car and he's in the wrong lane and almost collides with someone and they're the asshole.
Right.
Every time you hear the screeching tires, a car honk, its horn, and you hear him in the distance, even if you don't see him on screen, screaming asshole. It's so perfect. So back to John Cleese. So he has two moments that I find really funny in this movie. The first is when he robs his own house. Yep. And the only reason is he's trying to get Wanda's necklace back.
Yep.
And there's the shot of him slurping the chain like spaghetti because his hands are tied, and it lingers on this shot as he is desperately trying to suck this thing into his mouth. I don't know why that is so funny to me.
I think it's probably because they linger on it for so long.
It has to be.
The longer it's on the screen, the funnier it is.
Yes, and he's just got that face that determined, like, my wife is coming, I have to hide this evidence.
Yeah, and of course his hands are tied behind his back, so he can't do anything about it.
Yep. And then he just mumbles until she unties him, and he coughs it back up into his hand.
Yeah.
But it's just that singular shot of the frantic sucking a chain into your mouth.
Right.
I've never seen anything like that in another movie.
And it is the filmmaking trope of the audience knowing something, but the rest of the characters on screen do not. Like, we know he has it in his mouth and he's going to spit it up into his hand and put it in his pocket, but because we're on that side, she can't see anything.
Well, and that damn safety deposit box key is the MacGuffin of this movie.
Sure.
Some of the characters think it's in the fish tank. She knows it's in the necklace, but he doesn't know it's in the necklace. His wife doesn't bother to open it when she gets her hands on it. And it's just this, like, again, oh my God, this madcap thing that keeps happening. Yeah. Like, everything keeps going wrong. But he has one other scene in this movie that he just gets to be a lunatic, and it's when they go to the flat the second time, and as you said, he is speaking Russian, and she's about to fuck a rope? I'm not really sure. She's just like writhing.
She's humping that rope all right.
She's humping the rope and drooling everywhere while he is speaking nonsense Russian and stripping down completely naked when the new tenants arrive.
Yep.
And he goes right back into, I beg your pardon, who are you? Get out of here.
And of course, the people who barge in know him.
Of course. They sold him his house. I don't know that we need that detail, but it's just
another... You have to have the embarrassing moment of him putting the thing in front of his junk.
Yes. That's the whole joke in that scene, is his bare ass, and the woman in the photograph that is covering his dick is staring at him wondering what the fuck he's doing here.
Indeed.
All right, so the last character is Ken, the animal lover.
Yes.
Played by Michael Palin. He, like I said, is the one that's just kind of off doing the most Monty Python thing in this movie, which is there is one witness that can identify George, and it is an elderly woman with 3 little dogs, and she saw him in the car, but she's got a heart condition. So George tasks Ken with murdering the old lady.
Right.
Because she's the only witness, and if she's gone, their problems all go away.
Yeah, the case does not exist without that one witness.
So interspersed throughout this movie, where we're seeing Wanda seducing Archie, and Otto, spouting nonsense.
Doing Otto
things. You've got Ken off on his own little adventure trying to kill this woman. The first time he gets an attack dog. And instead of killing the woman, he kills dog number 1.
Well, before that, he also infiltrates her apartment and steals a piece of clothing that would smell like her.
Yes.
He gives it to the attack dog and lets it loose. And instead of attacking her, it attacks one of her little dogs.
And then we have a doggy funeral. Apparently, so... It's a full-fledged funeral. There is a pastor of some kind, a preacher, 2 boy choir members.
Yep.
The lyrics they are singing are apparently something like, "Have mercy, Lord, have mercy, the dog is dead." In Latin. Something to that effect. So she's very aggrieved. And later on in the movie, we see him driving a taxi, and he's going to run her over. But he runs over dog number 2.
Yep, that dog is flattened.
And of course, you have to remember, he is an animal lover. He has like a prevention against cruelty to animals poster on his wall.
Okay.
He has fish. So every time this happens, he gets more and more heartbroken, but we, the audience, finds it funnier and funnier.
Well, he also continues to get more and more injured as well, because
He does.
the dog attacks his face.
Yep.
He gets into the accident and he busts open his eye.
He crashes the car, yeah.
Yeah.
He's all bloody and fucked up. So then the third time he tries to kill this woman, rule of three, guys.
In the most cartoonish way possible. The only way to make it more cartoonish if it was a piano instead of like a concrete block or something.
For reasons unbeknownst to us, there is a giant block hovering over the crowds below.
With no like supervision. There's nobody
Nope.
there looking at it. No construction guys.
And
it just happens to be there.
One single rope holding it aloft.
And Ken has access to a sniper rifle for some reason?
Yes, he does.
In London?
And why would I bother shooting the woman with the gun when I could instead shoot the rope?
Because that would be conspicuous, Betsy.
Oh, he needs to make it look like an accident. I see.
Indeed.
So he does succeed in shooting the rope, and he crushes the dog.
But because the woman needs to make sure that it's not raining or something to that effect, she goes back inside for something, I don't know.
She hears the rumbling of the wires, like all of the wires and the gears holding up the brick.
Okay.
As it's falling, they're whirring really loudly,
Yes.
and she thinks it's thunder, so that's why she turns around.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a subtle joke, but that's why she turns around.
Okay.
But it's worse because she doesn't notice this thing has fallen on her dog, and she walks away with the rope just stuck under
It takes a long time for her to realize what just happened.
Yep. And she has a heart attack and she dies.
Also, why wouldn't she have heard that happen?
She's an old woman.
And why didn't that thing, split apart or something? Because it fell from a long distance up?
Because comedy trends.
Okay.
There's nothing about this particular sequence with Ken and the old woman that has anything to do with reality.
Of course not. And I know it's supposed to be funny.
This is pure Monty Python. And my favorite element of the fact that he is in this movie, because he really is only in these kind of little moments in between,
he's
until the end.
He's at the apartment. He's also a part of the heist a little bit.
He is involved in the heist.
Yeah, and it's him trying to kill the woman.
And then at the end, when he has done that, and Otto comes and tortures him, he is only there as a vessel for Otto.
Yeah, and of course, we can't not mention the fact that the character he is playing has a stutter.
And apparently, Michael Palin's dad actually stuttered.
Yeah, so
he based a lot of that on...
he used that experience of growing up with somebody with a stutter to put that onto screen. Now, he doesn't have a stutter himself, of course, so... It's 1988. I understand that, comedy was different back then, but now it's very cringy and it's really unfortunate.
It's kind of a mixed bag because the way he is doing it, he's actually treating it with a modicum of respect.
Yes, and I'm not saying that it's on him, it's on the Otto character for making fun of him so much.
But Otto is an inherently terrible person.
He is, I realize that.
And
but
there are some elements, and most of them are focused around Otto. There are very few moments that have not aged well in this movie.
Yeah, there's one other word that Otto uses as well.
Yep, he uses some dated language.
Yes, other than that, I think the movie holds up.
For the most part, yes. But Ken, of course, after suffering at Otto's hands, watching him eat all of his fish, he is at his breaking point. And when we last see Ken, he is in the airport on the tarmac driving a steamroller. And he's screaming, revenge, revenge, death, revenge. The first time I saw this movie, that was about the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen.
As you're rolling slowly towards Otto as he gets stuck in the cement.
Like a cartoon character.
And I knew that was going to happen. And
he does it.
Still.
He runs him over, he gets his revenge, and his stutter goes away. Like magic.
Who did it first, this or Roger Rabbit?
They both came out in 1988.
Okay.
So technically Roger Rabbit did it first because that came out in June.
Okay.
And this came out in July.
Okay.
But another movie that came out, I would be remiss to not mention this. I found this out recently. Everybody at the time of this recording is all up about Barbenheimer. The fact that you have these two massive movies, Barbie and Oppenheimer, opening the same day. And I read something about other major movies that opened on exactly the same day where you may not contextually think about it. This movie opened the same day as Die Hard.
In July, because that's when you put out a Christmas movie, Betsy.
Well, is it a Christmas movie, Trent? The people who put it out in July sure didn't think so. But yeah, I just think that's great. I did not know that. But when you stop and think about it, you go, oh yeah, no, they both came out at about the same time. This movie, however, took 3 months to make it to number 1. It was a slow burn. Like, it got limited release, then it got a wider release.
It seemed like it had a pretty small budget, too.
This feels like a very small budget movie.
Yeah, and I pointed this out to you as we were kind of ending watching it. There's no music in this movie whatsoever until the credits.
There's like one song that is recycled throughout the movie.
I didn't even hear anything. I heard nothing.
Or maybe it's like at the beginning. There's a score.
Maybe it's just at the very beginning when they're introducing people, but
maybe.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just this kind of very quintessential 1980s funky guitar. I don't know how you describe it. That music that is in every 80s movie of this ilk. But you're right. This is very low budget. We've got a few different sets. The most difficult thing they probably had to do was hanging John Cleese out a 5th story window. And if you look in the background, there's a whole lot of people staring because they didn't know they were filming a movie. And there's just a guy being hung out of a window.
It's John Cleese. I'm pretty sure these people are going to know.
In London, I should think so. In London in the 80s, they better know who John Cleese is. All right. Well, I know that we're all over the place because it's just what happens when we do comedy in particular, because this movie, it's not sight gags, but there are a lot of things happening in different lanes the whole movie.
Yeah, and it's presented in a way that is like almost non-linear. It's very strange to witness, especially for the first time, because you are cutting between so many different people going through different things at the same time, and it's kind of frantic at points.
And part of that pacing again is comedy. Like if it were slower, it wouldn't work. This is like an hour 45.
Yeah, and I think a higher pace helps the comedy to a point, but there were a couple of occasions where I was kind of thinking to myself, why are we getting these two scenarios here? Like the thing I was going to bring up next is the dueling scenes between the two couples who are getting in bed.
Yes, so you have the old married couple in their twin beds, cutting bunions in their toenails.
Right. And then the other two are just being crazy, and we'll get into more of that. But at the beginning of these scenes, I was just thinking to myself, why do we need to see these? And I didn't let it develop and see, okay, this is what this couple is up to. This is what this couple is up to. And it explains why the John Cleese character would go through what he goes through in order to fuck Wanda. Really.
Yeah, it's genuinely just to demonstrate this is the boring, sad little life he leads. Right. His wife is the one who is rich. She's just like, people just complain to me all day and everything's terrible. She doesn't listen to him. He said, I won the case. And she's just like, oh, my day was so terrible.
Right. And you're interrupting my alone time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yep. Their teenage daughter, consequently played by John Cleese's real teenage daughter.
Okay.
I didn't know that until today. She's just on about, oh, my horse is terrible and I need a new horse, Daddy.
I need a new horse.
I need a nose job too, because that's what I need in my life.
Yeah, because 1988, people are still getting nose jobs.
And then you're countering this with Kevin Kline sniffing his armpits, sniffing her boots and beating himself with it. And then they're fucking in the most insane sex scene I think I've ever seen in a movie.
Well, it is the most unrealistic sex scene I've ever seen because all he is doing is just bouncing on top of her.
And her legs are straight up in the air.
Yep.
All akimbo. Apparently, she is like smothering her own face every time they did a take because she was laughing so hard. This entire movie, there are numerous places where she says you can see her almost break because they just didn't have a usable take.
I'm sure. And like this particular scene we're talking about here reminded me of one other very similar scene, Betsy, one that we bring up often.
I wonder which one you could mean.
It's a little scene in a movie called American Beauty.
Yes, Annette Bening is being fucked by the real estate king. Fuck me, your majesty.
Fuck me, your majesty. Yeah.
Well, in that movie, you know, it's a really funny scene in a drama.
Yes.
Meanwhile, this is just straight, like, it is bonkers. No one fucks like this except for Otto in this movie. And then he's singing, he's yelling in Italian.
And he is blowing up the boot like a balloon.
And he's blowing up the boot. And then he orgasms cross-eyed and he makes a little stink face.
Yeah, he makes the most awkward O-face I've ever seen in a movie.
It's so good. Well, did you have some other moments that you wanted to bring up before we start wrapping this up?
Well, two things, really. First of all, I didn't know what the rest of this movie was going to be. I didn't know what this movie was going to be at all. But when they're talking about planning the heist, I figured there's going to be a lot more lead up to the heist.
Nope.
No, this is like 5-10 minutes into the movie. They're in that jewelry store and they're robbing it.
Yeah, they say, here's the plan. Next scene is the robbery. It goes off without a hitch. It's over in 2 minutes.
Right. One of the first things is Jamie Lee Curtis like casing the joint with a camera bag.
Yep. Taking pictures.
Yeah.
Her secret camera purse.
And the other thing is Kevin Kline pretending to be gay.
There is a whole thing where that's how he chooses to get out of a situation.
Uh-huh. And Betsy, we've covered another movie where Kevin Kline actually is gay, but he's in denial about it.
Yeah, that is one of the things in this movie I would say I don't know that has aged very well. Like, it's weird. I'm not bringing borderline.
I'm not bringing it up because of that. I'm just bringing it up because Kevin Kline has done 2 different gay things in 2 different movies we watched.
I'm sure he's done more than that. Most actors in the 90s did.
But this is 1988, Betsy.
Yeah.
That is something that is, again, not very common and not so cavalier, let's say.
And also talking about contextually the time we were in, they're talking about KGB defectors.
Right.
And this is 1988. The Berlin Wall was still up for another year and a half.
Uh-huh.
So, the times they have changed.
Indeed. But no, that was pretty much all I had here. Again, this is a really silly movie, and I can see why you of all people really like this movie because it is so silly and irreverent, and it stars some people that you really like. And everybody's just down for this. It just seemed like everybody read the script, they knew exactly what their role was, and they executed on it. And that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just stupid little moments in this. Like the scene where she is on the phone or pretending to be on the phone.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh my God, someone just called." Like, it's so stupid. That's a completely stupid line.
The over-the-top stuff that she does is probably the stupidest and the most outlandish lie that you could ever come up with, but everybody believes it.
And then in the same scene, she just decides to start kissing Ken. Because
Right.
that's her move. And he does exactly what she wants. He stops stuttering and he says, "There's a key. I don't know what it's for. It's hiding in here." And she's just like, "Okay, it'll be our little secret." So everybody just kind of turns on a dime. And she is just out there with her womanly wiles, getting exactly what she wants. And she gets a happy ending. So do you believe these two as a couple at the end? Or is it one of the... Because there's an absolutely stupid... Like, they're flying away in the plane and they say they got married in South America and had 17 kids and started a leper colony.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You'll buy it?
Because I feel like in her life, she's never really been with a person who can actually commit to her.
A normal human being?
A normal human being, as it were. But every other man that she's been with has been for a reason. but they actually like each other.
Once she actually starts to get to know him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really get the benefit of actually getting to know each other, so it seems a little far-fetched in the movie.
Well, they spend enough time together at the very least. Like, they get like 4 or 5 different chances to make it happen, and it doesn't happen.
It's the one sexless relationship she has, and that's where it actually goes well for her.
Yeah, and by the end, she's kind of begging for it. Because, number one, she gives him an opportunity when she asks the question, are you rich? Because if you're rich, if he said yes, if I am independently wealthy outside of my marriage, I might just stop what I'm doing and fucking marry your ass. Because you speak not only Italian, but Russian. Oh my God.
and he calls it off. It's not her calling it off. She could have said, oh, you're not rich, whatever.
Yeah. When's the last man that did that to her? Said no.
Never.
Yeah.
Like, not ever. Not in this world, because everyone is just at her beck and call.
Yeah. It's a weird movie, Betsy. I like it. I like it. Finally, it's done.
I'm so glad. It was worth the wait for me. So I would love to hear, Trent would love to hear, what you, listener, think about A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah, and this is not a movie that is readily available at a lot of different places. You probably have to rent it if you don't already own it.
Not at the time of this recording.
Yes, but Betsy has owned this movie forever. It's been in our collection forever, and here it is.
Here we go. So please tell us what you think about A Fish Called Wanda. You can email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We got one such email from our friend up in the Great White North, Mitch from Saskatoon.
The Great Smoky North, you mean?
Right now, it's the Great Smoky North. About Dial of Destiny. So the last of the Indiana Jones franchise.
Yeah.
He says, hey guys, I went and saw Dial of Destiny opening weekend and now can listen to your episode on it. I'm writing this as I listen so that I can cover your items point by point.
All right.
On CGI. I actually didn't notice it too much as a novice. I thought Indiana looked good, but I do worry about what this new technology will do in the future. How is it that our villain is in both this and Rogue One, where they introduced this technology? Because it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Lucasfilm. Yeah, no, that could have something to do with it.
Yeah, and they also do all the de-aging stuff of like the digital characters in Rogue One that you have Princess Leia at the very end, and you have Tarkin.
General Tarkin?
General Tarkin,
Is that his
yeah.
name?
Yeah.
I got a Star Wars reference.
We haven't had one of those for a while.
They're subtle lately. This one's very obvious.
Yes.
He continues, on the villain, I agree that he is pretty weak at the beginning, and I'm also not exactly sure why he is on the train, but this is the villain's origin story. Hitler and his men are too stuck on the religious items to see the importance of his, and now he has a mission. On the CIA, I didn't get this either. Why only one CIA agent for a guy who has goons? On Betsy being right, haha! The body of the secretary moved, and I noticed it as well.
Okay.
See, I'm not alone in this.
Okay.
On Archimedes. In real life, he died at the end of the siege of Syracuse. He needs to get going on that dial.
Yeah.
On the lack of gross out stuff, because we've commented about Indiana Jones always having kind of a gross out moment.
Right.
Thank goodness, we've been through enough. It makes this movie probably the most kid-friendly of the entire series.
I would agree.
It's pretty clean. Like, they've got bugs, but they're there for 2 seconds.
The only other thing that where there's like people dying is at the beginning of the movie when all the Nazis are getting shot off the train.
Yeah, and there's not
like
really
bugs.
Not really blood or anything, and there's no like face melting and stuff.
Yeah, it's all of the normal things that you come to expect from an Indiana Jones movie, like a face melting and like heads exploding and shit like that.
None of that in Dial of Destiny. On the ranking of the movies, I agree. This one is third. I had fun watching it. Trent is right. This is the movie they should have done to end the series 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys. Awesome episode. Now back to work on those wildfires up here.
Get to work, Mitch.
Yeah, when we're experiencing that smoke down here, you know it's a problem.
Yeah.
But thank you again, Mitch, for your email. That email again, if you'd like to send us your thoughts about Dial of Destiny or A Fish Called Wanda or any of the other movies that we have covered or anything you'd like us to cover.
Make Betsy talk about Kevin Kline for like 20 minutes.
I love Kevin Kline. I will do it happily. You can email us again, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can find us on social media. Right now, we're just on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those pages are pretty easy to find if you click the link in the podcast description. We're not on Threads. I don't know how I feel about that one.
We'll see.
Everybody started talking about it really hot and heavy like a week ago, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it since.
Yeah, it's just one extra thing that Betsy has to do or I have to do. There's too many things to look at.
Too many things, guys. So find us on those 3 platforms. You can reach out to us there as well. We're pretty active. You can also support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description, and you can throw us $1 to keep bringing you these new movies. We've got that whole Barbenheimer thing that we have to sort out at some point. We're still trying to figure out when we're going to do that. We've got a kind of busy schedule the next few weeks. I ain't got time to be in a theater for like 6 hours.
It's true. We're also doing this very much in advance because we're going on vacation again at the end of July.
We really are. So
yeah.
We'll figure it out though. Don't worry, guys. Eventually we'll see both of those movies. We would also love it if you go to your podcast listening app of choice and rate us 5 stars and write us a review. Those things really help us grow our audience and get to new fans. We've been saying it for a few weeks. If you aren't already listening to us on Spotify, please go and check us out on that platform. We're trying to build our audience over there so that we can bring our content to the world, to the masses.
To more of the world, anyway.
More of the world. A little corner of our very own. But that is going to be it for this episode. If you've been paying attention, the next episode, Trent, is 250.
250. What do we do every 50 episodes, at least for the past like 5 episodes or 5 occasions?
Well, you know, we usually watch a movie by a specific person, Trent.
By a specific director, you mean?
Could be. So let's just leave it at that. And you can look forward to that episode on Sunday.
There's only one of their movies left to cover, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Check the archives, kids. You can figure it out. And then after that, we are going to be launching a brand new series. More on that to come soon.
Indeed.
It is one that we've done before. So again, go back to the episodes. See if you can figure out what we're doing.
Starting in August, you'll find out.
With that, though, this has been Never Seen It. I am Betsy.
And I'm Trent.
And we'll see you next time.
Cheerio.